D, wait for it, delightful.
Check out the name tag. You're in my world now, Grandma.
What's up, nerds? And have I got a story for you? Down below, you can find the articles that I read to bring you this story, and you can read those and come up with your own opinion or whatever, or you can just watch this video and listen to me because I just break them all down. Now, also before I get started, I just want to say that if you like what I do here and you enjoy independent content here on YouTube, please consider subscribing to my channel. YouTube is always changing up their algorithms, and small channels like myself usually get pushed to the back of the line. So please ask that you like, share, and subscribe, and I thank you in advance. I also ask that you do this to any other small YouTuber because I'm pretty sure they would appreciate it also. So why don't we go ahead and get started? So it looks like Allison Mack, the star of Smallville, has been sentenced in the NXIVM case. Now, Allison Mack played Chloe Sullivan on Smallville, and if you didn't watch that show, Chloe Sullivan was a character created just for the show of Smallville. And that took place with Clark Kent before he becomes Superman. And it was quite a journey, told 10 seasons. But the first, I would say, 4 seasons were basically focused on him in high school. And Chloe was his best friend, and she had what was called the Wall of Weird, and they talked about the meteor freaks. And this was a character, like I said before, was created just for the show. And I liked Chloe on the show. She ended up taking a smaller role because Allison Mack wanted to leave the show, I guess. But yeah, like I said, I like this character. She was like a hacker or whatnot and everything. But then she became involved in NXIVM. Now, what was NXIVM? NXIVM was basically a sex cult. And what happened was they pawned it off as this self-help group, like this, you brought these people in, she would bring these people in, then they would basically, convert them and brainwash them into basically becoming a sex cult. They would have sex with the leader, which his name was Keith Rainier. I think I'm saying his name right, which he was sentenced to 22 years in prison. But basically, they would bring these women in, brainwash them, and it was mostly women. It was like pretty much like all women. It was like 99.9% all women, and they would basically just brainwash into having sex with Keith Rainier. And when they weren't brainwashed, what they do is they would take nude photos of these women, and if you didn't do what they said, they threatened to release them to the public. And I get that because that's scary. Like if you have nude photos of yourself, you do not want those getting out on the internet. How embarrassing would that be? But these people these women would just have sex with this Keith Rainier guy, and just to keep these photos and everything, they would brand these women with the NXIVM brand, like near their private parts and everything. And one victim described Allison Mack as what did she say? I can't remember. I didn't write down the exact quote, but she got pleasure out of torturing her victims. And I was like, that's so crazy. Now, what did Allison Mack get sentenced? She got sentenced to 3 years in prison, $20,000 fine, and 1,000 hours of community service. Now, if you want my opinion, she got off easy. 3 years in prison for this. I mean, she deserved more because I'm sorry, like what it sounds like torture, what they did to these women. And one woman described it as torture. And it's so sad that you would brainwash these women into having sex with you, and it's so weird, and then pawn it off as a self-help group. Now, other members of the show have talked about Allison Mack and said that they didn't really know what was going on. I remember Michael Rosenbaum said something like, one time she mentioned it and said it was a self-help group or whatnot, but never tried to get him involved in it. And it's just a crazy story and everything. And I'm happy that the Keith Rainier guy is in prison, and I'm happy that Allison Mack did get sentenced. I mean, I think she got off easy, but and she should thank her lucky stars. But yeah, she's a horrible human being. So tell me, what did you guys think about this? How do you feel about Allison Mack being sentenced to 3 years in prison for her part in the NXIVM, sex cult, scandal case, whatever. Are you happy that she's finally going to prison? Do you think she, like me, she got off light and everything, and she should have been sentenced more? Go ahead and leave all your comments in that section down below. If you like this video, go and hit that like button. I won't mind. If you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. I'd greatly appreciate it. And I will see you guys next week. You guys have a good week. Bye.